Okay, everybody, welcome back. We're going to do a completely just random office video to kind of give you guys a behind the scenes look. I am going to be repurposing some of my shelving units because they absolutely need to be repurposed, mainly just to be efficient with a lot of. I have like 150,000 70s commons problem. So the only way to really sell those effectively and efficiently is, well, you could lot the whole thing up and sell them to a dealer at a heavy discount, or I could do what they're going to do with it, which is break the stuff down into lots. Most of the stuff is sorted by year already. I have baseball, football, basketball, hockey, and but it's a problem. So I'm gonna have to reorganize some of the shelving units. But I wanted to show you just we're gonna get into cards like really quick. So I just want to show you kind of the lay of the land. Multiple projects that I'm working on. So yesterday I did a video where $100 got me, and I showed a 9-pocket page of Mark McGwire 88 tops, and not that that's what I bought, but that's like a theme that I really enjoy. So I'm doing that with some of the vintage cards. I'm able to do that because I'm able to buy collections and just kind of like take a card out and just put it in a box. So ultimately what ended up happening was I'm getting ready for a show tomorrow, actual physical card show. I have a Whatnot basketball show tonight, and I have just stuff everywhere in boxes. So I just needed to do kind of like a one-time, you know, master like pre-sort, and then I could go like smaller sorts as I go along, if that makes sense. So in other words, like I'll buy collections, I'll peel off a couple of Reds cards, a couple of A's cards, and they were just in random boxes, random piles all over the office. So just kind of gathered all that together, and you know and just kind of did like a big sort, and then we'll get into finer sorting later on. So all right, well listen, let's look at some cards. And of course, this is Off-Center Leonard. Welcome you back. So this is my Whatnot table tonight for that I have to use tonight, and you can just see there's just stuff everywhere. So I got to get all this cleaned up. We'll just start over here. This is some eBay stuff that I got to either lot up or sell individually or whatever. Here's some these are some of the variants for the wacky packages, and then also there's like the rare Ludlow backs. And the cool thing about that is Cy Berger was always looking to get deals on paper. So if you know this story, it's great. But if you don't, one of the reasons why there's like different kinds of shades of paper throughout the years with Topps is because they would buy closeouts. And so there was a company called Ludlow, and they had like little camel logos on the back. So they bought closeouts. From what I was told, they bought the closeouts of the papers, and they use them for some of the wacky packages, and they have like red versions and black versions, and those are actually kind of rare. So we got some showcase stuff here that will be going in to the next showcase. Same thing here. I'm just going to grab down as far as I can because I'm holding the camera, but you got McCovey, Berra, some 56s, K-Line, Spawn, Banks. This I picked up from Mookie. You got a Venezuelan. Picked that up from at the Philly show. More showcase stuff over here. High number SP, bunch of Clementes. Again, picked this up from Mookie. So just money that's just sitting in the boxes. More Clementes. Peyton rookie that had some creases that it presents well, but so we got that, and then we got some 64 Giants Clementes. Some Redmans that are going in the showcase. Vintage Whalers patch is just going to hang out. My So Taguchi collection. I just like the name. I just like it. It's almost like a bougie name of saying like, hey, how you doing? I'm So Taguchi right now. I'm So Taguchi. So kind of enjoy collecting him, or as I get him in piles. This is PC stuff. So here's like a very old was this 7.5 Clemente O-Pee-Chee. Here's a Murray and a 5. This is like PC stuff that I'll either just kind of hold and just eventually, you know, PSA 7 Jack Kemp. Awesome Ted Williams that I'll probably do a different video on Ted, because I got some cool Ted Williams stuff. Maris on the A's, some Reds graded, A's graded. We got a little, you know, Jim Hunter, Blue Moon Odom rookie, a 6. Jimmy Dykes and a 7 on a Bowman. It's pretty cool. This is my Mattingly World 88 Topps. These were, I think, done in England. I know one of my buddies at the Lonely Basement there doesn't think this is a real card, but it totally is. So, very fun and odd card to have for sure. I wonder what the, yeah, I think they put a number of 300 on the back. But it is a legit card. And then, you know, just some random stuff. Here's some stuff I may send out for grading. This was a in-person signed Hank Aaron on a 54. There's a Root that I picked up at the Philly show, 54 scoops. In that last Redman collection, here's a Williams with a tab that's probably going to go out. There's a McGuire signature that I may or may not send out, I'm not sure. Get some Kellogg's here. Here's actually a very early vintage signature of Sandberg, like real early on an 83. So that's like a playing days thing. Pretty special. I love Rhino. Here we have the Wall of Oddball. Check this out. So I had this built because I was going to use this for Whatnot, but it really doesn't work well with the phone. It only like kind of captures like just 2 cards in the bottom row. So I got this giant thing here. I'm like, well, as I get some cool A's and red stuff and some other miscellaneous stuff, I will just, you know, put it on here. And this is like to the right. So I'll set up and I'll do my Whatnot stream over here. All the people's purchases will go over here labeled. And then this is just kind of like a wall blocking this wall of this rack of inventory over here, which is all sorted by team. But let's get back to the Wall of Oddball, because there's a lot of fun stuff on here. So again, I'm an A's and a Reds fan. So like certain cards that make me laugh. You get the Mario Soto, you know, handle with care. There's just a cheap A's patch. That's Bip Roberts, but I call that my Ken Bippy Jr. preview to the Reds there. Dotson, we got Dotson here. See, nobody cares. We got Coffee Black, we got Monix, and we got Jackie Moon rookies from, I think, 2008 Upper Deck. A little vintage batter up box. We got a fish face, Willie the Duke Ditkin card. And this is a common card, but I did a Facebook post a while ago, and I had to take it down because I fibbed. And I said that the Upper Deck photographers were inspired by this card, which is an 81 Topps Tony Franklin. I call it like a 3D card, and it kind of looks like that. So going around the horn, we got some 64 Topps tattoos in the A's and the Reds. A's versus Reds. Got a Satchel Paige refractor. We got a really cool Pirates patch from the 70s, not for sale. This is such a cool patch. I know exactly where I got that from. The guy was like a transplant from Pittsburgh and sold me his collection probably about 3 years ago. So it's not leaving because it's just the emblem is so cool, the logo. Here we have a Billy Idol sign, Your Eyes Without a Face, which I actually did because the card was just trashed. A very old TCMA. I like stuff that's got beer on them, so we got some Schlitz advertisements on some schedules. So if you drink enough Blatz, it'll give you the Schlitz. Some more. We got Labatt's Blue over there. There's an old semi-pro football dressing room entrance card, which belonged to my buddy's father, which is pretty cool. Again, A's and Reds Cup card battle over here. Sorry for the glare. We got Jim Nash, Bill McCool. Got some customs over here. Lou Gehrig playing football. Cool 55 Bowman custom. Koufax. We got a miscut Ken Griffey Sr. card. 71 Topps Greatest Moments Bando. 69 Topps Stamps bench with the backwards hat. Red Heart, 54 Red Heart Gus Bell. We got some more early. I think there's like 61 Topps stamps of the Reds and A's logos. Icy Drinks, Perez Milton Bradley. Redman Klazuski, Ballantine Beer, football beer coaster. Get some post cereal, Frank Robinson. Here's a cool I did kind of a show on this before, but there's a color shift variation of Doc Ellis, which is like the Doc Ellis LSD card. Milton Bradley, Reggie. Got some Kellogg's, A's guys, Claudel, Reggie in his military hat. Exhibits. We got Veda Pinson, and we got 64 Tops Veda Pinson. Picked that up at the Philly show. There's like a 60s Reds, 60s or 70s Reds, I think it's 60s Reds, like pennant sticker. We got Brent Richards he made the wall of oddball with a little Ron Santos Salata covering kind of picking his nose a little bit there. Yeah, Isleys, Pete Rose. There's a cool Reggie Hostess, Top Super, Pete Rose, of course, Mr. Rogers rookie. There's like a Stanley Hack thing. I have no idea what that is. We've got a Tom Seaver Top Super, which will go in my Mets box when I'm done, when I'm kind of tired of this display, and I'll put a new one up. This is a pretty cool card. Again, you get so many cards. Trading cards, just looking, just kind of like a mock of a dealer selling cards. This is like probably early 90s. I'm not even sure what set that's out of, but we got Morris Elise of the Reds, Milton Bradley bench, Dell Stamps bench, Kellogg's bench. Just a really sharp Lee May rookie that I threw up there one day that I didn't want to sell on Whatnot. I was like, it's a little too nice to get $2 for it. Love this card. This is the team preview where it's got Reggie, McGuire, Canseco. Very, very cool card. Sportsflix 87. They got a Reggie Super, and McGuire Mother's Cookies, graded, Pete Rose, Kellogg's. Joe Morgan making a cameo on the A's. Vida Blue. Berto Super. Reggie in an oversized Archives or Topps Heritage box topper there. Then we got Sal Bando. So that is the official wall of oddball for this month. We might switch it out next month if I have enough energy to do so. But this is so I got some of these are my just boxes of just like PC stuff. There's a Ruth and a 4. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. This is a special one I'm going to do. So keep an eye out for this, where I'm going to do an episode on low technical grade, but awesome presentation. So this card got a 1, and it's got like a vintage tape mark that was removed, and it just has a little bit of toning, but that is the nicest one you will ever see. It's not a pinner, just has a little tape on it, and that's a story for itself. So stay tuned for that. Subscribe if you're not subscribed and you like seeing my office. Here we have just sliding Reds cards, a bunch of Larkin rookies, Ken Griffey Jr., game used stuff, again, that I just set aside when I get collections in, and I'm like, it's just for me to go through. Another Sal Bando Super, some Hostess, a McGuire refractor there. So just tons of stuff. At some point I'll probably do some deep dives and get some other videos up and out. Here's some Whatnot inventory over here that's just hanging out. Some more stuff over here, some Angels Jack in the Box underneath some exhibits, and some oddball stuff there. And then this is part of the 70s deal. Here's a 59 Flair partial set that I was breaking up the other night and selling on Whatnot. Underneath here, all loaded with commons. All loaded with commons over here. As you can see, 75s, 71s. So just, and there's stuff everywhere. So, some hockey lots I'm going to list on eBay of common autographs and mayhem. Let's bring you back over to here. This is kind of like the desk that I work off of when I do packing and shipping. It's just an absolute disaster. But this is the section where I'm working on 9 pocket page cards. So right now, George Foster rookies, I just feel like is just way too cheap. This is like a dream goal of just getting 9 of these in a page, because I always love the Vintage Cup cards, especially the Bench and the Seaver. They're 2 of my favorite cards that I was not able to obtain when I was a kid. And I'm obviously in my glory right now. But the goal is to get the 9, just hold 9, and then just constantly upgrade and sell off the worst one as I go down the line. And eventually, I mean, they'll probably all be X-Men or whatever. I don't think I'll get too many near mint ones, but here's a guy that's way too cheap too. Don Gullett. Let's give some love for Don Gullett, man. 5-time World Series champion. No, 4-time World Series champion, sorry. Working on a page of Mays for the Decals. Working on a page of Clementes. Working on a page of, not O-Pee-Chee, but that's an O-Pee-Chee one. Great iconic shot, same as the 68 Topps. I'm also working on a page of 68 Topps. We'll get into that in a second. More Decal Age Rose. Here's, let's see, I got about 6 Murray rookies, the Samuel L. Jacksons. You know, again, I just feel like when I sell them, they're way too cheap. So I'm like, I might as well just do that system that I was talking about. We got a couple of benches, 69s here. I think we got 6 or 7 Andre Dawsons. And Andre Dawson, as you all know, well, I don't know how, this is right next to the oddball wall. We have my March Madness poster from 2012. Does it say that? March 24th, Saturday? Yes, 2012. And, you know, to Lenny, all the best. Andre Dawson, awesome guy. I wish I was doing YouTube back in 2012. It would have been for a pretty good interview. He was an absolute sweetheart. I think I have like 5 Seavers to get the page. I got 2 of those. Building up, I think 6 or 7 of the Rices. I think I have like 4 or 5 of the Carews. A couple Dwight Evans rookies. I think those are too cheap too. Some Munsons. I do have enough Invita Blue between O-Pee-Chee and regular. Again, another card that I think is very underrated. Invita Blue is one of the best pitchers of the 70s, hands down, like no questions asked. Dave Concepcion rookies. I think I got about 11, so I can definitely start a page on him. And there's like a whole stack of A's cards. Here's another transfer. All right. I don't even know if I want to grab this, but there's a mix of just like anything oddball. Like here's Dave Kingman who made an appearance. Here's some commons. I mean, when you get to the bottom, there's some absolute, like here's like a Canseco jersey numbered out of 50. Here's a blank back A's team card. So there's like a lot of cool, you know, stuff in here. Oddball, vintage. You can see there's some Redmans in there that out of the last collection I just peeled off and put in my own collection. Here's some Kluszewski stuff. Redman. There's a Bowman. You got Veda. So here's just some stuff that I'm going to hold on to for whatever reason I feel like I need to hold on to it for. There's a actual T206 Fred Merkle. We all love Fred Merkle. Some game use stuff, some sharp 70s cards. Here's part of my Mets collection that I separated out that I showed before. Strawberry, Gooden autographs. There's I didn't show this. This I picked up at the Philly show or at the EC3 con. That's a Jerry Koosman signed transogram. We love the Koos and in Cardcast Towers. Oh yeah, here's some great advertisements that will probably eventually go on the oddball wall that I picked up recently for myself. All fun stuff there. I'm working on a 76 basketball, either putting a set together or pulling the stars out and throwing them on my Whatnot show tonight. I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but we'll see. And then just being completely transparent, you know, we got top stamps, I think like a near set. There's a bunch of Kellogg's in the back. Here's some stuff for basketball tonight. Here's a bunch of McDonald's football sets. They're like the 49ers. This is how I break down my stuff for Whatnot. So I do it by team and by decade. So even if you say a name, like if you say like Nolan Ryan 70s, well, I can go to the Angels and see if I have, you know, any Nolan Ryans. And I do the same thing with the 80s. And here's my football. This is the reason why it says BCL is because I have somebody else that is partnered up with me on this deal. So, so that's kind of cool. There's my football stuff. I am going to start doing in-person autograph shows on Whatnot. They're going to go pretty cheap, like $2 starting bid $2 for in-person cards and signed 8x10s and stuff like that. Stuff that I just don't want to list on eBay. I just want to blow out. You know, you got hockey up there. So, and then I don't even think I got a nice Expos helmet on the floor there. I like to wear that sometimes when I'm doing my shows. I just love that helmet. So we got 50s and 60s cards all broken down by team over here. We got a 60 leaf near set down here. Some more star stuff for the shows. This is just like stuff that's eventually going to end up on Whatnot, most likely. You know, Dawson rookie. Just absolute chaos. So this is one of the shelving units that unfortunately I'm going to have to take down the display because money is making me do it. I love having this stuff displayed, but you know, I usually keep this window thing down, but you know, the sun is hitting this. This is an original Reds bobblehead doll. I know I showed this in a video probably around last year, but you have like the surf books of the Topps collection of the Reds and A's. Just even on the piles, like I've got a couple or several Jim Carrey, the actor. These are his book plates signed. They're JSA certified. Got a cool Ron Howard inscribed or personalized back in 1988. I just think that stuff at that time that I bought it was just way too inexpensive. The old not Heisman trophy, but it's a 72 Sunoco football trophy that I just parade around whenever I take out the recycling without being asked. So just to let people know, it's my championship ring. State title, 31 points, 19 rebounds. You might have heard of that game. All non-sport that I was doing on Whatnot that I just had to shelve because it just wasn't, you know, it's just not enough people that want to buy that kind of stuff on there. So, and then we just have just runs of, there's like a low grade box that I'm building up that'll probably blow out on eBay, just like very hammered stuff. There's some vintage football and baseball, like early mid Bowman's tops that'll probably go out at $2 a piece at a show at some point when I build that up. And a bunch of in-person autographs over there that'll eventually hit eBay or whatever. Let's see, I guess Scott Hall baseball. This is when I did a signing with Scott, the wrestler who unfortunately passed away, NWO for life. But I had them sign it red and black. Sold this, and then it resurfaced on eBay. I did like a dozen of these, and one of them resurfaced on eBay about a year and a half ago, and I was able to buy that back. You know, at one point I needed to buy and sell everything I was dealing in, and that was that weekend, and we became really good friends after that. And yeah, I miss him. He was a good dude. He treated me like awesomely. So here's like some stuff that got sent off to PSA, dual sign McGuire, Canseco, a couple of those. Got a Vandermeer 49 Bowman. Oh, this is pretty cool. Here's a vintage sign O-Pee-Chee Mike Schmidt. Pretty nice. There's some other stuff in there too that I think I've already showed in a recent video. Then you just get random stuff. This is for people that that I send stuff to on YouTube. If you happen to stumble upon this and you want like a care package, I will cultivate a package. You just email me at carcast@gmail.com, and I'll gladly create a section for you and send you a box so you can open up on YouTube. How fun is that, right? Here's like just stuff that I have so much quantities of. When we did the sale for Rev Steve, you can see the 85 Topps Rose. All the people got like mid to low 80s roses because I have like 50 of each. Anyways, getting to the top over there, we got a box of bad autographs that I will be doing a live burn stream. We're gonna burn those autographs. We got forgery baseballs of Ted Williams and Joe DiMaggio, that are bullpen, Operation Bullpen autographs. And what I'll do is I'll create a video of the exemplars to, as far as to show you the differences between bad and good. So you guys have that as a reference. And then we're just going to do a burn party to show you guys that when I get this stuff in, I don't recycle it or send it out to them, back out into the market. And because there's people that will just send stuff out to flea marketers and whatever, and it just ends up then I end up getting a phone call. Hey, I got a got a Ted Williams baseball. This is all non-sport stuff that I have, vintage non-sport from the 50s and 60s that I don't want to get into now. That'll be another thing. There's an empty safe for now. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. So I've babbled on long enough. I hope you guys have a great Easter weekend. And, you know, and yeah, I'll try to grab some footage of the show tomorrow. Maybe I'll do a thing on my showcases because I'm actually putting a lot of stuff, you know, in that's new. And I'll try to do that. So that was the initial start, and my ADHD just goes, let's do this, let's do this, let's do that, and just bounce around. So my initial thing was pull all the stuff I wanted to price for tomorrow, and hours later, this is what ultimately ended up happening. So I'm not going to get to the shelf behind me today, but that might happen on Sunday or Monday, and then I can start really pumping out the commons lots on eBay. So anyways, guys, thanks so much for hanging out with me. I know this was a little bit of a long one, but there's a lot of fun stuff in there. All right. See you guys in the next one.